And welcome to another episode of Geek Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin.
And I'm Zombie 13.
Yeah. All right.
Finally here, right?
Yeah, right?
It took you long enough to convince me.
Yes, it did. But it's exciting. I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, me too.
But let's just start off with this. What's in the box? Have you gotten anything lately?
I did. I did actually, surprisingly. Mythic Legion's All Stars 5 Plus was shipping out, so I got my order, the meager order that I was able to put in.
Yeah.
I haven't opened everything yet, but they're really good.
Nice.
Really good. I'm always impressed by how they are always improving on the quality of their figures. Like you wouldn't think, because a lot of them share the same kind of parts, but
Yeah.
they really do. Like if you get something, in a wave, and then it's like a little bit loose somewhere, like the next time those parts are used, that's corrected. It's not loose anymore.
Right.
Did I get anything else? I don't think. It was pretty light. And I just got those in, so I haven't had them. I haven't been able to open it and like tinker with it or whatever. I did like pop open Dubon though and stuck some Wolf King custom parts on him.
Nice.
So
I really dig that.
that's really cool. Let me find my camera, get it centered. And these parts, the set, and this isn't the sword that comes with the set in the shop, but if you go to Wolf King, you can get like the head and the shoulder pieces with a sword. Um, and I think they look great on this figure. And
They really do.
It's painted black, and then it's got just like a silver steel dry brush over it, and it doesn't match his like armor color. I may go back and like change that
Yeah.
to where it does match, because I really like the way this looks on this figure. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it looks really good. And
Can't
well,
wait
you
to open the rest of them.
what was that?
I can't wait to open the rest of them.
Yeah, right. You did some custom work this week. In way of this.
Oh, I'm always doing some custom work. I don't stop.
Right. Come on, get it up there. There we go.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
awesome art by Bo. And
yeah.
I couldn't help myself but get inspired by the work that he did. So I took one of my stormtroopers,
I
put
love
the scarf on him, and it's wired, so it's bendy, and then the light's really washing it out. I put the 13 on his head.
How did you do that, by the way?
Thank you, Bo. Just one of the small paintbrushes that I have.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you actually painted that on there, or.
Oh yeah, it's painted. It was with one of the Army Painter same detail brushes,
nice.
Which have like stupidly small like brushes on it.
Yeah, Bo approves.
Hey, all right. Yeah, maybe I'll do the other guys in the banner
team.
Yeah. That just happened to be I had those parts on hand, and the scarf thing I had left over from when I made my original Zombie 13 character out of I think it was a Ghost Rider Marvel Legends figure. So it's literally the same piece. I have some wired ribbon, and I couldn't find black, so it was white. So I painted the ribbon with some black paint, and that's literally from the exact same piece that I used on that custom years ago. It's the piece that I didn't use for that custom, so now it's on that Stormtrooper.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, and you were saying that, you might make the others. Well, you might have to.
Well, if I do, I'm going to send them to everybody so that they can have their own, their own character, and then we can come on screen and hold them up or something.
That would be so cool.
I'll definitely have to start parts looking. So
right. Well, I have plenty of stormtroopers for you.
Well, yours is Lino and Bo is He-Man. And then the hardest one's probably going to be Zach with the Silverhawks thing. I don't know. Is the who did the Silverhawks recently? Super 7. Are theirs out yet or no?
Yeah, I think they're out.
I may have to buy one and do that one. I think the only other one who did the other one where it's not vac metal finish, but it looks really good actually.
Yeah.
I think it's Ramen Toys.
Possibly.
It sounds familiar. That one looks really good. Have you seen it?
Yeah. It was shared in our chat that we have going back and forth between us all, and he's just like, this is what I wanted to have.
Yes.
But Super 7 didn't get that shiny finish, and he was like, do I really want to buy a toy that I have to fix, or do I just forget about it? So,
well, the production stuff's never really perfect in our own eyes. We get it. We always think, well, this could be better. Maybe I can add a little paint to it here or change this about it there or whatever. There'll never be a perfect anything released by anybody.
I'm telling you what, that's so true. Like, as I'm sitting here looking at, let me throw up my extra camera. There we go. So, I loved the way this dude's gun is, Kali, but it bothered me that the barrel wasn't black. Yeah, and it's just like, it just, because it looked gold in some of the pieces that photos I took, but I'm like, I wonder if I could fix that. So this is what I did recently. I sat down and I customized this gun and gave it a tarnished gold. I know it's not very visible.
It's one to focus on the sword, I think. Cameras.
Well,
that's good that you're getting back into the customizing thing, even if it's just simple a repaint. I mean, hey, baby steps. Go for it.
And that's what I thought exactly. It's just like, I could probably do that. So I sat down.
I mean, really, that's how most people start anyway. They see something and they might get a figure and the accessory isn't painted or something. They go, well, I kind of wanted it to look a little better. Let me see if I can just add a little paint to it. And then before you know it, this person's making full-on custom figures,
Right. This is the one I actually wanted to mention. Her skin is just so plastic store or toys or dollar store looking. I know it's not showing up on camera, but maybe I can do this instead.
It looks very pale. I see.
There. This might do better.
Okay.
It just
it's a little more in focus.
Yeah, it's very
plastic
looking. And just I don't know. So I'm probably
looks like
going
it has
to
no life.
Yeah. So that's what I want to do. I wanted to find a good skin tone, flesh tone. Well, she's very pale, whatever the fuck you want to call her. But
well, she does travel in space, so
yeah.
No, I get where you're coming from,
and she also doesn't have to have a suit on to travel in space. But Thundercats logic for you.
Hey, cartoons,
Yep, for sure.
I've been experimenting a little with skin tone finishes and everything this past year too. So it's been interesting because like before I would just do like a skin tone, and then I would put like some type of wash over it, usually like a brown. JC, what is that, mustache? I'm stupid. I can't read.
Mustache, I guess I'm something like that. But hey, what's up?
Howdy.
And of course, we got my mom in here. She does look like a 1950s Barbie.
Surprised mine hasn't made, or maybe mine is watching. She just doesn't have an account to sign in on.
Yeah.
I convinced her to join Instagram, and like she's always like liking and she'll make comments and stuff. It's totally my mom. So she doesn't. I'm like, thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
You gotta love our moms, though. They're moms.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom's talking about getting on Instagram, and so I don't know. I have to help her with it though, so I gotta sit down and give her an account or something. But I'm like, it's easy. You just sign in with your Facebook account, but I think they might have taken that away, disabled that feature. So I don't know. But I know that's how it was when I joined Instagram. I just signed on with my Facebook credentials and was boom.
I think it's still available because it's always like every now and then it'll not always, but it'll prompt me to sync up my accounts and everything. I just leave it separate. I don't know. I just keep everything separate.
I keep it that way, so that way it'll actually flow down. I can just post on Instagram, and will automatically post on my Geekmen page on Facebook. So it's one less thing I have to do. I try to do that with Twitter, but it recently stopped flowing up to Twitter. So I don't know what that's about. I gotta figure it out. But
I stopped posting a lot of my figure stuff to my main page. I don't know. I was getting like a long lost family popping up and just kind of liking it. Like, yeah, this is neat and stuff. So I just stick to the Facebook groups to post anything if I do customs or whatever.
Yeah.
I think we got off on a tangent there. What did you get? Did you get anything new? We just took off in another direction suddenly.
Yeah, as far as stuff, I have things coming for our setup here. I have like a rotating disc that'll spin, and you could put a figure on it and spin it around. It's like mainly for reviews and stuff.
Yeah,
that's my goal. But I want to put it in my paint booth over here, and set it up, and then be able to have figures and like stick them on the stand, and then hopefully the camera will actually focus on it, and I'll be able to turn something out that's good. But it won't be here till tomorrow, I think.
Noah Pratt makes custom like shells to go around those things. Those are really good, actually.
Really?
He does a really good job on those. Yeah, we'll have to get you two to message each other and see if maybe we can work something out and we can get something on the show, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. That would be cool. I'd like to have like a little Geekmen logo, whatever on it as it's up there turning around. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'll hit him up after the show or something.
Nice.
So I know in the past we've done like Wilson figure boxes to each other, like just packed full of like and like I haven't even told you everything that's in the box sometimes. So it's like, open it whenever you get it and surprise. Right. Maybe you should get back into that. Those were fun to do.
Yeah, I actually have been meaning to send one to you. Stuff I've collected Bobby Martinez, what's up?
Hey, Bobby.
So yeah, I have a box that's sitting over here. We're just waiting to mail it. Have to get paid. But yeah, it's got some good stuff for you.
I'm always waiting to get paid.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate thing. It's like we should just have money available all the time.
We need one of those situations like in Office Space where something happens and then it's like, no, I'm not going to come in anymore. I'm not going to do any of that, but you still pay me.
Yeah, that would be so cool. I don't know. It's different being being in my situation now, so it's different, but something I working through.
You've had quite the journey, my friend.
Yeah.
And I am so glad you're back.
Yeah, feels good to be back. He says, I can't wait for my Zombie 13 customs.
Yeah, I'm working on quite a few commissions for quite a few people, and he's got some cool stuff he wants me to do for him. So
yeah,
it's definitely exciting stuff.
Yeah,
chomping at the bit to work on it. I couldn't do it this past weekend because of work and everything. But
right.
I've got. I mean, my desk is full of stuff to work on, so I've got no shortage.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I love it though. I love it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it.
Well, and you've I know you've been interviewed on different places and stuff, but you've actually been doing this a long time.
Yes.
What was it, 30 years or something like that?
31 years this year. Yep, I started when I was 12. I am 43 now. That's a long time.
Yep. And it's impressive to even be able to say that. So.
And I never really stopped. I had to take a break for a little while because of well, a couple of reasons, a couple of times actually. But it was always a part of my life. I never stopped looking at things coming out, thinking, that would be cool if I could use that to turn into this other thing.
Right.
And so that kind of got me in a little bit of a different type of trouble, because then I suddenly had all these things that I was going to use to customize into something, and then better things came out. So then I was stuck with all the older stuff for a while. So it's kind of a double-edged sword when you do that. So you're constantly having to stay on top of it. Like if you see something and you know you want to use it to make something, you better do it. And you better do it right then, because if not, you hold on to it, then something new is going to come out that's a better part or a better figure, and then you're never going to get around to using what it was that you originally bought.
And that's so true, because I got stuck in that too. There was a time when
it's so easy to do.
I started buying a bunch of Mythic Legions and stuff. Like, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, and I've only actually completed like one thing I wanted to do. Well, that was the night that we did, that you and I both collaborated on and put together. And then I said I wanted to do a Black Panther looking guy, but I was waiting for Torion, and I did that. That's the only one thing I did that to come.
And now there's actually a Panther pieces that anybody can get now. So you were definitely one of the people that were ahead of the game on the Panther thing. So
on Fisto, they still haven't released a hand for Fisto.
That was so much fun to do. Like that was like a happy coincidence where all the parts that we were going to use to make something like that came together. It just happened to be all released, like that Build-A-Figure arm from what was it, Crimson Dynamo?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it's so ridiculously big, but it's so cool.
I love it. It's still one
so
of my
awesome.
favorite customs to this day.
Yeah, it's a great piece, and it was a team effort. Totally.
Yeah, I actually bought a Crimson Dynamo piece for the intention, like, oh, maybe someone will ask me to make it, but no one has. But I still have the piece. Still
honestly,
holding on to it.
I don't think too many people have actually seen it, because it wasn't that around the time where you had your incident where you ended up in the hospital, or was it had to be before? It wasn't after.
It was before.
Yeah,
it was before.
Yeah,
but
so there was a lot of things happening at that time. So I think you should repost that stuff. I don't think a lot of people
have
even seen it. Did you?
Yeah. Well, maybe not in the Cabal, but I did repost it. It was a memory, and then it prompted me to repost it. I did a reel and stuff like that, just trying to bring some creative juices flowing back, because that's definitely one of my favorite customs.
You got to get all of your Motu tributes that you've got or that you've done, and like put them together in like one shot.
Yeah,
I think that would be cool.
Yeah. I still need to paint the He-Man, whatever his name
Adamon.
is. Adamon. Thank you.
Yeah,
I still need to paint match the body for that. Haven't got around to that, but so I have that. I have the only one that I don't have is the orc, Man-at-Arms orc.
Oh yeah.
That's the only one I don't have. But I think I could piece it together, but yeah, not a top priority. But that's the only one that I don't have so far, because I have the Hordak and She-Ra. I still cannot find that one piece, the one wing for her ear, and you sent me a piece to reuse as a replacement, but I haven't paint matched it yet. So, so I still have that one. I have the Stinkor guy and the Mossman guy that you hooked me up with. Has there been any others? There's the many faces one that's coming out soon at PowerCon this year.
And then Whiplash, the one.
That's an ogre scale.
Yeah. Oh, that thing is sick. I want that thing so bad.
Yeah.
I might get a couple if I can swing it and do a repaint, because I've got ideas for that dragon body.
Right.
There was a Keltus, the Skeletor. Do you have that one?
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah.
Yep, I have him and Evelyn, She-Ra, Hordak.
I know you have Calros and Purple.
Yeah.
I know you have those.
Yep, I only painted, and we discussed paint matching on those pieces so often.
Extensively, yes.
Yeah.
Purple, that purple is a nightmare for me to match, and it seems like it's different every time I go back to do it.
Right.
Every time
I have it in my notes, but it never seems to be quite right. And I think it's probably because of the lighting or something.
I may have to do something about that the missing Unkin, though. So we'll see. No promises.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Oh man. Tell you what. So have you seen all of My Hero Academia? My Hero Academia? All of the episodes?
I I suddenly got a craving for macadamia nuts. I have not seen this past week's episode. So currently, yes, I'm all caught up except for like the new episode that came out like just now.
Okay. When do they normally pop in for you?
What's that?
When do they normally pop in for you?
Oh, I see. Even if they're renewed throughout the week or whatever, I typically don't watch anything until like
Monday or
Monday
whatever.
night, because that's Monday's my Friday. So
right.
Well, everybody else has got a case of the Mondays. I'm like, yeah, it's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. It's my Monday. Oh, yeah, that's something to
I hate that. I'll
celebrate.
walk around work all Friday. Friday is my Thursday. Or no, not my Thursday. It's my Tuesday. So I'll walk around all day at work, and everybody's like, hey, it's Friday. I'm like, good for you.
They're like trying to come up and give you a high five, and you're just like, finger.
Do the up high, ooh, too slow. Yeah, no. So I don't know. I don't. I'm current, but not current. Like the last episode that came out, I haven't seen yet. If one came out, I don't know. I haven't even looked.
Yeah, I think that's there's an episode that I still haven't seen. It's No Man is an Island, and that's the latest. But I have Crunchyroll, but I don't have it. It's not listed. I can find it in the subs, but I'm looking for the dub because I don't know. I'm weird.
Oh, I'm dub all the way myself. I can't. Yeah. If I'm reading what's on the bottom of the screen, I'm not paying attention to what's on the rest of the screen.
Right. Because you're too busy focused on what's happening in the text down there, and you're not seeing all the amazing action on the screen. And it's like, I'd rather just hear it.
My wife's the total opposite. She totally prefers sub over dub because she can't stand the American voice actors or whatever. I'm like, how can you even, like, if you're listening to how they're talking on sub, they all sound the same. How could you pick a character out of any of the other characters? They're all like, their range and voice is way up here and squeaky, and I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't care if lips don't sync up. If I can understand what they're saying and follow along with what's going on the screen, I'm happy.
It drives me crazy that it doesn't quite match up, but then I immediately push that out of my head because I'm too busy focused on the amazing action and stuff.
I grew up watching Godzilla movies. It doesn't faze me. Not the least. Yeah,
that stinks. Exactly. Oh, that's terrible.
That really doesn't bother me. No, not at all.
Oh, geez, that's funny. Yeah,
oddly enough, what does bother me, oddly enough, is if I'm watching something and it's in English, it's meant to be in English, but then the video is like 1 second or behind or ahead of the sound, and that doesn't match up. That drives me nuts.
Yeah, like it's buffering or something, and
I can't stand that. That bothers me. It's like I can't even watch you right now.
Man, I tell you what, I'm excited for that episode whenever I can find it. Hoping I can find it. I think I've watched almost all of the anime, but all in dub. And
so did you go back and watch any of the movies yet?
Yeah. I actually just read that they're apparently working something to have it be canon. Like, Yeah, all the movies that were previously considered not canon to the main storyline. Apparently, they're working it out by having them be canon by having cameos from other people, like they're watching the action and stuff. So I don't know. I didn't get to read the whole article yet, but I don't know.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, but I just know I've seen like the hero, the rescue. I've watched a couple of the OVAs and stuff. And I think I saw the one main movie that is out there, but I know there's plenty others.
Everybody talks about with the big epic fight scene with Midoriya and Bakugo.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was some crazy animation. I'm watching it going, "Oh my god!" That was a crazy one. That's and then for the events in it, I guess not be undone, but the whole transference of power and all that kind of stuff, how they handled that, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Because then you have to think back to also in the series where Stain ingested some of Midoriya's blood.
Yeah.
But didn't get any of the benefits. I don't want to go. I don't know who's watching it. Might not have seen everything, so I don't know. You know what I'm getting at, though.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Keep waiting for him to pop back up, Stain, because he escaped in that big prison break.
Huh.
And they showed him. They showed him a couple of times, but not for very long. And I'm not sure. Because it wasn't very obvious Stain, but if you remember what his face looked like, he's got kind of like the nose where it had been lopped off.
Yeah.
That was him. Huh. That was him. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. We're getting ready to do an episode, I think maybe Saturday. But we... Bo, Zach, and I all rated the heroes and the villains, and he came up with this list. He'll have to explain the rules because I don't quite remember the rules, but he said it's funny and it's going to be epic when it comes out. But yeah, so I'm excited for that episode, and I think it'll be fun. But
so I started watching My Hero Academia when it first premiered on Adult Swim.
Oh yeah.
So this was back when I still had cable. I've since cut the ties with cable, so I don't get that anymore. But anyway, so I started watching it, and those first few episodes, I was like, okay, maybe this is one I can watch with the kids. And so I started watching it with my daughters, and then Bakugo just relentless with the "I'll kill you, die," and then they started doing it. So I'm like, okay, nope, I can't watch this with them.
Right.
I mean, my kids would start saying that, and I it didn't click upstairs at first. Like, why are they like they're full on rage right now? What's going on? And then I realized, oh,
Bakugo does that all the time.
Crap. So I said, yeah, we're not watching that anymore.
Right. I forget.
It eventually died off them, but
someone told me that it was safe to watch with kids, and so it's like, okay, I'll start watching it.
Not my kids.
And it's just like I watched a couple episodes, and I'm just like, oh, no.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to be a responsible parent. I'm lax on some things, but
yeah.
Something goes wrong, they're on their iPad or something, and things don't go their way, and then all of a sudden you hear in the other room, "I'll kill you!" No, that ain't cool. That's not. No, you can't.
Oh, okay. Oh goodness, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Funny looking on the inside, but not so cool whenever, it's happening.
Right.
It's your little girls, and you hear this demonic growl come up from the pits and declare you're going to die. That came out of you? No. No, I don't think so.
Oh, goodness. Oh, geez.
But no, I enjoy the series. It's a good one. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I always took the movies as, fun little side stories because, another series, Dragon Ball Z, that's how you have to take those movies, especially the older ones. I know the ones for Super, they kind of made into the series that followed, just, embellished it and whatever. But those older DBZ movies were always never really connected.
Right.
They're always like paralleled what happened in the main story, which I was fine with. I didn't have to have everything fit in. Like I had friends, they were like, no, this movie's got to fit in the storyline somewhere. And I'm going, how? Some of the events that happen in those movies doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because of, the way the timeline works and everything. Things just don't fit that way. And they would just go on for hours. Like, all right, whatever. Think whatever you want. I don't care anymore.
I think that's what we have to do pretty much with everything now.
You've beat it out of me. I don't care.
Oh, man. But, okay, so we got off on another tangent here. What do you think about Mando?
Oh, yes.
Are you enjoying that so far?
I'm a fan. I've been enjoying it, yeah. Last season was a little up and down, and this season kind of took a left turn for an episode or two, but I've been enjoying it. I really do like it.
Yeah, I think it's good. And this last episode, it completely justifies that huge left turn. It's just like, okay, they're setting up to just so that people understand that there's drama and stuff going on from the Empire and what used to be the Empire. They're just now like basically infiltrating the government and the new government and causing havoc, I think. But
I think they probably could have. I don't know. There's always, people are never going to agree on that one episode where they showed Coruscant for so long. I think they could have got that story condensed a little bit more.
Probably, but
personally, but I mean, everybody's got their own expectations of what they want to see out of these shows and everything. Boba Fett being the most notorious one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far I like it. I'm still watching it. I'm a fan.
Yeah. Have you been watching Bad Batch?
I did. Man, what a way to wrap up that last season. Oof.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we gonna like go into detail and talk about that, or like I don't know, spoilers or whatever? Mute your mute the show for a little while.
Yeah, come back for a second if you don't want spoilers. But
I do not think Tech is gone.
Oh, I don't either.
Because they don't show a body.
Right.
What's his name? Evil dude. That's very monotone. Said the only thing they recovered was his goggles.
Right.
But if you think back to the beginning of that episode, and I don't remember the character's name, but the pirate lady that they've kind of shacked up with now, she tells him something to the extent of, don't go joining any other pirates or something.
Right.
So who else was in that episode? Saw Gerrera.
Yeah.
And they did leave before the explosions caused all that chaos. So they could have easily... See, Saw Gerrera, to me, is a character... Like, he is definitely a rebel, but he is like that extremist rebel. Like
right.
if he's gonna mess with you, he's going to stick around somewhere and watch the chaos unfold from the things that he did to mess with you. So I absolutely believe that they doubled back and they could have seen what was happening and saw Tech fall and go down into the clouds undercover and caught him.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the last we see of Tech.
No.
I think it's going to be a big selling point for, I don't know if there's any more episodes, but like the second half of the season or the next season.
I think it'll be next season.
Yeah, I think it'll be I think it's going to be a rescue for
Crosshair.
Tech and story arc redemption for Crosshair.
Right, because they got to go in. They got to rescue Omega. Omega found Crosshair there, so he's going to be back into the team. I bet you. I bet you that's the way they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Unless Crosshair sacrifices himself to save Omega, who knows?
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
Oh, but when my daughters saw that, like the big reveal that there's another female clone or whatever, my daughters were going, "No, no!" And I'm like, y'all couldn't tell? Like, I picked up on the voice, and I'm looking, I'm going, it's a clone, like the previous episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is another clone. So that was kind of cool. That was a neat little reveal that they put in.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see. It's like, so they changed her sex from, because all the rest of them were guys.
Yeah.
So they changed her sex, and is she older or is she younger, or because
that's a good question.
It's revealed in that Omega was technically their elder to the team. She was the first one created, and the rest of the team came after. So I don't know.
Yeah, because her aging wasn't accelerated. She was just like, normal, like Boba Fett was when he, Django commissioned him, and he was like, "No, don't accelerate this one's growth. This one's mine."
Right.
So yeah, that was kind of cool. So that is a good question.
To see if it'll have any indication on how that will go, but
I like the direction that they're taking, especially that show. That one is really good. There hasn't been too many things with it that I've kind of gone, it was kind of a weird choice.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All of that animated stuff is really, really good.
So good.
Yeah. I mean...
Oh, okay. Speaking of animated, how did you feel when Zeb showed up on the scene of Mando?
Yeah. Oh, as soon as he walked on screen, I was like, "That's Zeb!"
Yeah, that's what I was like. Oh my gosh! He came back, and it's just like, oh man. Wait. Okay. So.
Okay. Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
Bad Batch. We're done with Bad Batch. Just happened. So.
Someone give me when Bad Batch spoilers are done. Great reading.
Yeah. No, we went back to Mando with the reveal they did on him on that show. I should have had a sign.
I feel like it's just like, okay, well, it's like,
let's get a sheet of paper and hold up. Spoilers are over now.
Right. But I was flipping out, and I immediately texted you, and I'm just like, let me know when you finish watching this episode.
Oh. Yeah, by that time, we didn't even start it. Because I'll watch that with my daughters. I don't watch it ahead of time or anything. So
yeah, I do. I'm still in the habit of watching them because I was initially screening them, like, so I would get up and watch them, and then watch it with my kids if I thought, okay, this is okay. The only episode that I thought I wouldn't want to watch with them is season 2 of Mando, episode 1, where it's fighting the Krayt dragon, and the second episode where the spiders are coming at them. Spider creatures are crawling at them.
Well,
it's just like
yours are a little younger than mine, so yeah, I could see that.
But I rolled the dice, and sure enough, it was scary to them. They were definitely like frozen watching it, but they're like, yeah, I'm not really good with that, so it worked out. But those are the only 2 episodes.
You sometimes put yourself in the mindset of a younger kid. Like, okay, would this be scary to me if I was that age? Would I be afraid of that? So that's kind of my judge on things, especially now.
Yeah.
That used to be, I was just like, okay, yeah, they can watch whatever I watch. And then suddenly it's like, no, they can't watch what I'm watching.
Because I binged Dragon Ball Z, and I was just like, because I saw it was about to expire on Hulu, because I was watching it on Hulu, and it's just like, I got to get through these episodes. So I finished watching all of the Dragon Ball Z, and then it's like, well, I need to watch Super. So it's like I went and watched those, and now it's like I burnt through all of them, and it's just like they're still there. I could have taken my time.
I started with Dragon Ball with my daughters, so like the beginning,
right?
Goku's a kid, and there were some, I forget where we were watching it, but there were some episodes that got messed up. So, but we watched all the way through Dragon Ball, because that series, when it was created, was very much so meant to be the children that would watch this grew up with Goku.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was, like, as he's growing, they're growing too. So they grow up with it. So they grow from Dragon Ball into Dragon Ball Z. So we made it through Dragon Ball, and they're, kind of into it. It's kind of funny. And then there's, like, we watched I don't know, I guess you could say unedited stuff. So sometimes
Master Roshi,
he's without pants on.
Oh yeah.
And they're going, oh my god! We're watching it because it's full frontal,
right?
So I'm like, yeah, that happened. Okay. So then we get into Z, and then that's where at times it seemed to drag, and they would get bored with it sometimes. But I convinced them, hey, stick with it. And I didn't force it on them. They genuinely wanted to watch it or whatever, so they got into it. And they understood that progression of Goku getting older and going through his life, and then him getting, married into his adulthood, and then him and Chi-Chi got married, had Gohan, and then, Gohan gets kidnapped, and suddenly everybody's an alien. And so they followed along with that and everything. And then I want to say as we were finishing Z, that's when Super, the series, started, like, there's rumblings, and it started. So then we started watching Super, which was really kind of nice because it still continued on with the story and everything. And then they totally got bored right after the last Future Trunks arc.
Yeah.
So they haven't even seen the tournament or anything. Oh. So we skipped the tournament, and then the Broly movie came out, and they mentioned the tournament in the movie, and my girls were like, "What are they talking about?" I'm like, "Oops."
You should have watched it.
I didn't know they were going to say that. Like, I hadn't seen the movie yet either. It was like, oh, yeah, look, this new movie came out. Let's watch it one night. You know, we sat down and watched it. They never went back and watched the tournament. I'm not sure they would still be interested in it.
Yeah. That was such a good
but the new movie,
Superhero.
Superhero, that's right. I couldn't think of it for a second. Yeah. That one was a bit of a departure for me. Because I'm used to, that certain anime style for that show.
Right.
Everything is very similar. Even if you go back and you watch the older stuff, it's still similar enough to the new style of something that would be in the series today.
Right.
But the new movie, it almost, it's got that cell shading kind of video game, like the video game trying to look like a cartoon.
Yeah.
So this is a cartoon trying to look like the video game to look like a cartoon to me. And some of the movements were, like,
exaggerated.
It took a little bit to get used to. It's an over-exaggeration of animation that people almost sometimes get sucked into. Because if you compare that to some of the older animation in the series of Z, like if somebody like Piccolo got surprised or something, he's standing there, all stoic and everything, and then something happens. The only thing that might change is his face.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Superhero, something happened and he got surprised, and he's in the red ribbon uniform and everything, and something happened and he got surprised, and like his whole upper half, like, I'm going, oh, what is that? What are you doing?
Right.
So, and that one, while it doesn't bother me, I did notice the way the mouths move was a little more ambiguous, and I get that because they're gonna make it. It's gonna be in Japanese first, and then they're gonna dub it over with different actors, and so I kind of get that. But I gotta think, like, maybe even in the Japanese language, it might look a little funny, just because of its very soft mouth movements.
Yeah,
I don't know, but overall, it was enjoyable. I liked it. The movies always move faster than the series does.
Right.
So, and that's in all of them, even those old movies. If you go back and you watch the older Z movies or whatever, even those, they're more fast paced because they've got, such a short amount of time to try and get everything locked into that story.
Right. Yeah. I really loved it.
It's cool seeing some of the upgrades.
Oh yeah. That made me fall in love with Gohan. I'm just like, yeah, all right. He's cool. Gohan's awesome. He's my dude.
Well, that's another thing. In Z, at that Cell Saga, Gohan was supposed to take over as protector of the Earth.
Right.
And it got met with fan backlash. Like, the people that grew up with Goku pushed back the hardest. Like, no, it's Dragon Ball. It's supposed to be Goku. So that's why there was like that slight deviation from Gohan taking over as protector of the Earth. Like, he could if he had to. He's like their ace in the hole. You just got to piss him off enough.
Right.
So, they kept Goku as top dog in that story, and that's why.
Yeah.
People just didn't like it. Like, Z was supposed to be showing Gohan growing up, like Dragon Ball showed Goku growing up.
Right. Yeah. No.
The whole thing where Piccolo, Gohan tells him, "You were orange," and he's like, "I was."
That alone, that voice actor helped ease me away from Dragon Ball into My Hero Academia, because it's like, oh, I recognize that voice. Okay. I can latch on and listen now, because his voice is All Might just really helped me ease the pain I was feeling from the Dragon Ball Z, and blend into it. Oh wait, this is really good. New series.
That's great.
Well, plus I really enjoyed Izuku Midoriya and Deku rather, but yeah, I thought I was like, he's an interesting character, but yep, I don't know. But oh well, I don't know.
Well, that actor has one of those voices where it's. I mean, on any show that guy's in, you can pick him out. He may, you know, he may try to change up his voice a little bit, but you can pick him out.
Right.
Like, who's the actor that voices the character Zeb in Rebels? Because he does a lot of voiceover actor too, and
yeah,
he was Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop and a bunch of other animes he's been in. He's just got that voice. You can just pick it out. It's like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
He's just one of those.
It's funny because like my cool kid guys. Started to do that too. You see us get this weird look on our face because it's like we're tuning in, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, okay, I got
it. I know that guy.
It's fun, but oh boy. So I don't know, what else do you got?
What else do I got?
Yeah, what do you got going on?
A lot of stuff, a lot of junk.
Yeah.
No, geez, I don't even know if I can talk about some of the projects and stuff I've got going on. I probably shouldn't.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Talk about or not. No, this guy's cool. I dug this guy back out. It's back to Mythic Legions.
Yeah.
This was one that, I mean, he was kind of sort of done a while ago, and I dug him back out, and then kind of touched up some other spots. Redid the stone texture on him. This is I mean, there's nowhere. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and hold him the whole time. He's one that kind of had a little bit of screen time, I guess, in the infancy of the Mythic Legions line. He never was officially made. It was a thing called FanX, and that's short for Fantastic Exclusive, and it's a thing where the Horsemen of the Four Horsemen Toys Studio, they did this thing they created. It was how to best explain it, really. I'm trying to do it justice, and I'm screwing this up. A toy created by the fans for the fans. So you would vote. It would be up for public vote on their message board on their website, and it was done in a way where you would vote on the scale. First, you vote on the character. They would have a bunch of different art pieces that they did of different characters, and that was it. That's all you were given. You weren't given any story, no background. It's just you were voting on the way that character was drawn, how it looked. So you vote through that, and then a winner is picked, and then you get to pick on things like scale and sometimes color, accessories, weapons.
Right.
And then it was all decided by fans. They didn't really step in and go, yeah, no, we didn't want to go that way, so we're gonna change this back to this track. They never did that, not once. So they did this for a line called the Seventh Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which the first ones they did were Minotaurs, and then the second year they did it. There was an elephant one, and then they did some variations. They did a couple of other characters for that, and then a new series won the next vote, which was Gothatropolis, and they did a character from that one. And then the next time the vote was come up, Gothatropolis won again, and that's where the birds came from that have been incorporated into Mythic Legions.
Yeah.
It started with the Raven. So then after that was done, it was kind of over, because at that point they said, okay, we're doing the Mythic Legion stuff. This is going to be a new project. But then everybody on the message boards really missed that fan experience, and they wanted, they were asking, hey, are we going to get to create a figure in this line? That was really fun. We want to do that. So one of the community members that also worked at the studios with the Horsemen at the time said, yeah, okay, we'll start it, see how it goes. So we got to vote, on the different body parts, different armor styles and everything at the time during the beginning of the Mythic Legions. And ultimately, the character design that won, this guy, he went by Ed Comics on the message boards. He had resin casts of the figure, that all the parts that we had voted on, and that's what won, was that particular look. So he was doing different paint samples and everything. This was one of them, the stone texture knight. The other one, which ended up winning, was the Blood Knight Forgus Familius, which it looks kind of like the Stone Knight, but it's red. Yeah. And then there was another one that people have dubbed the Jade Knight, where it's mostly a black suit of armor, and it's got some green wash in the recesses to kind of make it look like a dark jade type of color. So long-winded explanation of why this figure exists with the Stone Knight. While it wasn't officially released, it's a custom that I did, and I just recently showed that off on my Instagram. Yeah, and then on like the Facebook Cabal, Mythic Legions Cabal Facebook group. I spit it out in a second. I'm getting tongue-tied. So just little things like that I'm working on in between commission projects, and then designing some of my own unique pieces, like the one that I did, and he's right behind me. The one that I did recently that was released through Wolf King, and this set includes the pauldrons, which weren't released because we had to go back and redesign some of the things in them. So they'll be coming out soon. But the torso plate, and it's a plate that just clips in to some of the new Mythic Legions torso plates. Find my camera. That's the plate. That's the official one that comes on some of the figures. And this is a 3D printed piece that pops in. This piece pops out. You can pop that piece in. So it is the shoulder pauldrons, the torso plate, the head, and then Lynn, through a stroke of genius, added a Warhammer, which I love. Yeah. So these parts, some of them, most of them are available at Wolf King right now at wolfkingcustoms.com, except for the shoulder pieces, which I'm told are going to be out soon. So
that's
really
an awesome
cool.
look.
That's really cool. And yeah, it's going to be like a whole series type of characters where I want to do it. They're like this dark gothic type of styled armor. Yeah. Where they're not dead. Well, you're not sure if they're dead. You're not sure if they're living. Is there somebody under the armor? It's a very mysterious series right now, but that's the way I want to keep it for now. Yeah. So not too much has got released from that. I am working on the designs for the next character in that series right now, and that's coming along pretty good too. So really excited to show those pieces off whenever we get to.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
What else? What else we got going on? Well, you convinced me to join the show.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see how long that lasts. I'm going to try to stick to it. I really am. I've got a crazy schedule, so I never really know what's going to happen from week to week sometimes. Like
Mm-hmm.
Last week, we had a guy who had a family emergency, and he asked if I could cover this coming Friday for him, the 7th. And I told him as long as the shift I'm supposed to work is covered by somebody, I'd be able to, but it didn't work out, and so I thought I was going to, first I thought I was going to be by myself next Friday, which turns out I will be. And then I thought before I knew I was going to be by myself this coming Friday, I was going to be able to cover for him, which is an evening shift, and I'm not going to be able to. So it's all complicated, but that's the type of thing that happens with my line of work. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to say my position as a floater because I'm supposed to have a set schedule, but a lot of times I end up having I'm the one they call to fill in for people, so I'm not always available at normal people times. No, there's no other way to explain it. I'm just, I mean, sometimes I might send a message to somebody. It's 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, but hey, I'm up, I'm working, I'm doing something, and everybody else is asleep.
I'm not.
I'm on like European hours or something.
Yeah, I'm usually up then too. I usually don't go to bed till like 3, but lately it's more like 4.
I know you're up, but then I fuss at you like you need to turn the screen off and go to bed, man. Put the phone down, go to bed.
Well, it's fine. I get my 8 hours sleep. I just sleep when I fall asleep, and then I wake up when I wake up. But then my mom's voice pops in, and she's just like, "For every hour of sleep you get before midnight is worth 2," and it's just like, what? Whatever.
I don't know.
Or 5:30 comes early. She used to say that to me all the time.
I've had this theme song stuck in my head for the past 24 hours, just so you know. Like, so I don't forget. Hey, I'm supposed to be on the show.
Oh,
the theme song to the show. This show.
Yeah,
it's literally been stuck in my head for the past 24 hours. I'm laying in bed trying to get some sleep in the middle of the day, and it's like, an eye will pop open, and then that music will start. I'm like, no, go back to sleep.
Oh, that's funny. I'm glad it's catchy, though.
It is. It's very catchy.
It's a catchy tune.
Oh, what is
J.M. Scherf? He was the mastermind behind that. But I don't know.
Sorry, my computer, it had a pop-up on it. I had to take care of that. I don't want to get knocked off. So, you guys, this is I say you guys, this is what, the second show that's been on YouTube now?
Yeah. And it's
technically not counting the
live version.
Okay. So wait,
because it's the first live version because what was that?
Episode 3 wasn't live?
No, it was recorded, and then I had to make it go live because it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So we were sitting here talking and going back and forth, and we're like, I wonder why we're not getting any comments. And it's just like, because we're not live. So I just uploaded the after the fact. I think it's good though, because we're getting comments.
I get to christen the show going live. Check it out.
Yeah. Oh, dude. But yeah, I don't know. I tell you what.
So am I correct in assuming that the past seasons are here on YouTube as well?
Yes. Yeah.
They are. Okay, because I looked into
there's either audio or at the very least they're audio.
I looked into it last night, and then I couldn't find it, and then this morning I found it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, the past seasons are on YouTube.
Yep.
So okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's weird because I don't know. I need. It's weird because I used to be a tech guy, but now I'm not. It's harder for me to pick things up now that, with my whole situation, being in the hospital and all that, but it's hard for me to pick things out, but I still want to get the show on audio too. Because I have people that there's like, I don't know, half a dozen subscribers at least that watch for the show there, but we're on YouTube now. So it's just like, so I don't know. One of these days I'll hopefully figure it out. But
so what's the preferred platform that you're well,
YouTube.
not platform, I guess. What is it, podcast service, or I don't know what you would call that. Like what's like the one, if you were suggesting somebody to come and listen, where would you send them?
Oh, I'd direct them to Podbean. That's okay. The original hub that I call the hub of the podcast, but it's since moved to YouTube because that's where all the current episodes are. And you can also find the older audio only versions of the podcast on the YouTube as well. So, okay. But it is what it is. Taking it in stride, and hey, I'm just glad we got comments this time, and and it's not something that I will have messed up again.
Well, it looks like where. Okay, I don't see like a view count. Do you have a view count of who might numbers that might be watching?
Yeah, there's 5 people watching apparently.
Wow. Okay, so Bo popped in.
Yeah.
And JC Mustache.
Yep.
Mustache. How do you say that? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Your mom.
Yeah. Bobby Martinez.
Mr. Martinez popped in. I see Bo, and then I am not gonna even.
Okatazuro. This guy.
Otaku Zero.
Otaku Zero.
Otaku Zero. Oh wow! Wait. Let me do this. Otaku 00110.
And we gave him the
silent
outing, so that way. How do I? There we go.
Otaku with some binary followed by 01000100010.
Oh goodness.
That's cool. First live. We got comments.
Yeah. Yep. And just glad that I won't have screwed up another podcast.
Don't ask me to do it, man. I tell you what, I'm the least tech savvy person I know. Like my wife used to handle all the computer stuff back when we were like dating and first got married and everything. Mm-hmm. She, I don't know, stopped. And then suddenly it's like, I got to do all this now. Oh God. And we have kids and they want this done and that done. And they have computers and they have the laptops and I stumble through it all. I do. I don't know how I manage, but I'm not a tech guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only done this YouTube thing now twice.
Yeah.
The first time was on Jesse Arnold's show where it was just Shelve It. And I messaged him. It must have been 2 hours before the show. Like, dude, you got to help me get this stuff set up because I don't know what I'm doing. So he was patient with me, and he said, "Okay, do this." And then there was a point where I could hear him, but he couldn't hear me. So I was going through all the controls, trying to figure out what's going on with that. I think at one point, like he could hear me, and I couldn't hear him. So it got reversed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, regardless, it worked out. And this stream especially worked out. I enjoyed watching you on that show. Just Shelve It. It was quite entertaining.
I think after that show was like it officially ended, we still talked for like an hour and a half after it was over. I eventually was like, you know what? I'm rambling. We probably should just go, guys. So there was like a whole show that nobody else got to see except for Jesse, Curtis, and me.
Right. Yeah. And that's how it is sometimes. I mean, especially like Bo and I got on here when we were testing this out. And
I watched those.
Yeah, we're just talking away, and if we're just like, oh, crap, it's an entire episode. We should probably go to bed so we can record tomorrow. And I'll save this to upload at some point.
It happens sometimes. You and I will get on Messenger and just talk, and before you know it, it's been 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time with me. I'll get on the phone with somebody, and it's just my wife will poke her head in the door sometimes. Like, you're still on phone?
Yeah. About that.
I'm popular. What can I say? No, it's usually people have questions. I get asked all the time about paint matches or custom ideas, and I don't mind helping with that stuff. If I can answer, I will. A lot of my painting and everything, I'm still using. Let me grab one here. That's not a good bottle, but whatever. I'm still using Model Masters painters tape.
Yeah.
Testers Model Masters. I'm still using it because I've still got a good bit. I don't have every
stockpiled it.
Stockpiled it. Well, I went in Hobby Lobby one day and they had them all marked down on discount because I'd heard that they were discontinued.
Yeah.
But I'd heard they were discontinued a year and a half before paint stopped being put out. I mean, so I was kind of going, okay, sure, they're discontinued, whatever. And I can still get every color I need, whatever. I wish back then I would have taken like $20 every paycheck and just gone and bought everything that I could.
Right.
Because then I really would have a giant stockpile of it.
Yeah.
But no, I was in Hobby Lobby one day, and it was it during the pandemic? I think it was during the pandemic. And it was just orange sticker. And I'm going, oh, no! And they were all like marked down to 99 cents. And I'm going, crap! I must have dropped, I don't know, $75, $80 just on the paint that they had left. And somebody else had beat me to it because a lot of the colors that I use regularly, there may have been like one or two that whoever beat me to those paints picked up first, and they missed a couple. But I mean, every one of them that they had left on the shelf, whether it was a color I was familiar with using or not, I went back to the front of the store, grabbed one of those carry baskets, and I just dropped them in. Because at first I was picking through them going, oh, good, I could use this one, and I can use this one. And then I realized, no, I'm buying them all. Yeah. I just went like this into the basket.
That was a terrifying time. And we've tried other paints since then. Because I would work with you and be like, hey, I think we found a match for this or a match for that.
Nothing really matches that durability of that brand, though.
Right.
I don't know what it is. They have a good formula.
I think Citadel is close comparable, but
they're good. The thing that I find hard to do with their paints is because when I make paint matches and stuff and I'm mixing these paints, I'll take a toothbrush and then dip it in and count drops into another little dish. With Citadel, some of their paints are kind of thick.
So and not the ones that are supposed to be.
Right. It's a very thick formula. Like, even if I'm just trying to use them straight out of the bottle, I'll still dilute them.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to working with a thinner paint. Even some of the testers, like the brown that I like to use, it was usually straight out of the bottle, thick. Like, you would stick a toothpick in it and pull it out, and it's just a string of paint coming off of that toothpick instead of drops.
Yeah.
So I would have to take like my older bottle of the same color and like transfer some into the old bottle and then put a bunch of water in it to thin it because it was just so thick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't found something that I'm completely happy with. Like, there are some Citadel colors that I like.
Yep.
That I have that I'll use. There are some Vallejo colors that I have.
Yeah.
There's some brands, like I've got I guess it's Scale 75.
Oh.
I don't know. It's a metallic paint. It's gold. It's a really rich gold color, and I like it. What is the name of that? I don't know. Dwarven Gold.
Oh, okay.
Dwarven Gold. That was recommended to me by Dennis Derby. He's big into the Mythic Legions type of groups on Facebook and everything. He recommended this to me because I was looking for a paint match for the gold that was used on a character called Magnus, and it's really close. It's really, really close. Almost 1-for-1. So that was a good recommendation, and I like it. It's one of my favorite golds. It's very brilliant.
Good. I can't tell you how many golds I went through when trying to paint match that one commission for Steve, I think it was.
Ooh, and that was King Noglin's gold.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. Oof.
That was tough.
Imagine.
Tough to get to match, but I found one.
Gold is one of those. It's one of those colors where you can add stuff to it to try and change its luster. It very rarely ever works out. You might get lucky and you're able to mix something into it or mix it with another gold to tone it down to get whatever range you're looking for what you're trying to match. It's one of those very difficult colors to. If you don't have a straight match out of the bottle, it's hard.
It is. Calling back to the nightmares we had trying to match Purplor's color and Kalros's color, the helmet.
Kalros isn't too hard for me. That one's easier than Purplor.
Yeah, Purplor is definitely the hardest. But
when I say that, it's his purple, that purple tone. Like that's very difficult to match, because it literally is different every time I do it. Every single time, I've got my recipe written down, and it's kind of a guide, like where to start, and then I have to alter it.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things about when people ask me for recipes for a paint match. Like, I'll post something, and then somebody will ask me, "Hey, would you mind sharing the recipe for that?" And then it's always followed up with, "I could, and I will give it to you, but here's the thing. I'm using a paint that's not available anymore. You can't. If you do find it, it's expensive because people have realized, oh, I can charge more for this, and people will still pay it,
right?
Because it's discontinued." So
it drives me crazy.
It's not impossible. It's not impossible to get your hands on this paint, but it is hard.
Yeah.
I do some pretty extensive searches myself for some of these paints, but I don't overpay for them. It's like, no, I don't want it that bad. I'll find another paint.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $10 a bottle. No.
Yeah.
That's a quarter tank of gas for me.
When I was painting that the Uber color, Uber, or however you pronounce it, the skin tone of Evelyn, it's just like, okay, well, I only have a little bit. I could probably make more heads with this color, but I'm going to have to find another bottle, but ended up not doing it. I just have the one, and it's still here.
So good. I keep meaning to make one myself, and I never, like, I've always got other projects take a priority, or you know, somebody out of the blue, hey, I got this idea to make something. Think you got time to do it? Like, yeah, I guess about that. my personal things get pushed back.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, anything new coming out that you're looking forward to? Like, figure-wise, let's start there.
Okay, action well, Beast Gohan, his next form up. I ordered one of those back when the pre-order was open, and so I'm excited to get that. That's going to come in like August, and I had Orange Piccolo, and Brawly. Not his like Super Saiyan form or whatever, not his like ultimate form, but I have a Brawly coming, and I think that's going to be in July or something.
His powered down, just like his normal form, or the one in between?
Yeah, his normal form.
Okay. Did you see? I'm sure you did. Did you see? I forget what android number it was, but the one he's got like the white head, and he and Dr. Gero are in the matching outfits.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
I think they did a tease of a release for him coming up.
Oh, Android 19?
Is it 19? I wanted to say 19. I wanted to say 19. It was like, I don't. Is it 19?
Yeah, the one that Vegeta ripped his arms off.
Yes.
Sparkling.
How deep are you gonna go? Are you getting all the characters, or?
I don't think I'm gonna order that one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get the main characters like Vegeta, probably additional forms of Vegeta. There's a company called Demonical Fit that I'm interested in trying to get like their version, but this superhero Vegeta's really good. There's only like the one thing that I didn't particularly like, or it caught me off guard because it wasn't the same as the others. His neck, if there's the camera, his neck doesn't. There's like a gap there, and sometimes it'll catch on his chest, and so it's just like I don't know, but once you move them around, you're like, oh, okay, I see. You need all that range of motion, and you can move the neck, and then it just flows, and it's like, yeah, okay, this works. But probably get.
I enjoy seeing you messing around with those.
Huh?
I enjoy seeing you mess around with those.
Oh yeah, they're so much fun.
Because I've got quite a few Dragon Ball figures, mostly from Z. Like, and it started with like the one Zach was talking about, where the arms go up and down, and they've got that plastic closed top you can pop off, and
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, it's all we had. That was that's it. So to see him go from that to what you've got,
to this,
man, that is a huge leap.
Yeah.
They look great. They really do. They look great.
And they're so much fun to play around with. I love like making those reels on Instagram, because it's just like, oh yeah, I can do this. Yeah, that's a cool cool thing to do. So yeah, I don't know. I love them. So I'm not gonna get all of them. So I'm probably not gonna order Android 18 or 19 rather, but I still want to get Krillin, Piccolo.
You saw the future Trunks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that one.
I might try to get that one. That one's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to get that one, and I want to get the Vegeta as well, because that is more accurate to how he looked regularly.
Yeah. So you caught the little that little scene in SuperHero where Trunks chopped up Frieza and like blew him up. You caught that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, it was quick. It was quick, but they showed it up like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's from a different angle.
Yeah.
Like, that happened a lot faster than I remembered it.
Right. Yeah, it certainly did. But dude, they're so cool. And so I want to get that one and Vegeta, but those are coming out for pre-order soon. So I'm nervous. It's like I want to order them, but I don't think I have the money for it. Like, I gotta wait.
I know the feeling for that. That's why I don't do a lot of pre-orders, because I always have to worry about, am I going to have the money to pay for that when it comes out, and then I don't want to sit on the pre-order and then not have the money and then have to cancel it. And then it's like, because that kind of looks bad, whoever you're trying to pre-order it from, then you contact them about, canceling an order. Yeah, they might not let you come back and do too many pre-orders after that, especially if it's a big one.
Yeah.
I'm very leery about doing that. Although I have done some pre-orders through Big Bad and.
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
It's Cosmic Legion.
Yeah. Which ones are you getting from them?
I passed on almost the whole wave because at the time I did not have the money. Right. I didn't have it to order it straight from the Horseman. I think I only ordered direct from the Horseman. I only ordered one of the Tusk Century Guard people. The I don't remember how to say his name. It's the blue dragon looking dude, but it's the one where he doesn't have the spacesuit on.
Yeah.
He's got the scales and stuff showing. So I ordered those two, and I think a hands pack. And that was all I could get. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go on BBTS, and I didn't order the whole wave, but there was a couple that I wanted extras of, so I threw a couple of extras in there, and I'm looking at it now because they keep hinting that these things are coming really soon, and I can't pay for them, so I'm probably gonna have to cancel.
Yeah,
I'll just take my chances, I guess, and wheel and deal on trades. If anybody, I don't think too many people is going to give up those figures when they get them. I really don't.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. I'll work something out like I always do, I guess.
Yeah.
But I definitely, because it's, I don't know if I want to say this. It's a big order.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, and I don't think I'm going to be able to commit to it.
Yep.
Which stinks, because I really do want them, but.
I just know I'm glad that I got in when I got my order, because I wouldn't have been able to afford it now. It's just like, okay, it's good, it's gone, the money has been transferred, and it's everything's taken care of. Just gotta wait for it to come in.
There's so much coming out too. It's just hard to keep up with everything. You just have to pick and choose. You know, what's most important. You know, and a lot of times that means making sure the bills are paid and food's on the table first.
Right. Right.
You know, that's the priority. All the other stuff, it's just toys. You know, and it's not like there won't be more out there. You know, like you'll never be able to find them again. You know, just as an example, a couple of days ago, I had to go to the store and I needed to stop off and get gas. So I ran into Walmart because there was something else I needed to pick up. And it's a habit. I go down the toy aisle, like I'm sure you do, as I'm sure so many of us do. Grown men walking down the toy aisle like we're little kids still.
Well,
and I found I found some stuff, and I grabbed it. I had it in hand. I'm walking around, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. This is coming home with me today. And you know, it was my birthday, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is my birthday gift to me. And as I'm walking away from the toy aisle, I'm like, you know, you can't afford this. I had two things in my hand, and I'm like, this is gonna be $50-something bucks. You came in here for one thing, and then to get gas and go home.
Yeah.
So it was the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor for Black Series.
Yeah.
He was on the shelf, and then who does Bill Burr play? I can't remember his character's name.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
Is his not in like the tank outfit, tank trooper pilot? No, it was like in the his mercenary outfit.
Yeah.
You know, with the arm things and all the gear on him. So I had those in my hand, and I saw the second Grief Karga figure, and I'm like, yeah, you can wait. You know, little Grogu, you can wait. You know, I'm like, whatever. I've got a Grogu. How many Grogus do I need? So I left those two. I had the other two in my hand, and I'm like, yeah, you can't afford this. You need to go put this back. You can order these later.
Yeah.
You know, they're not. They will be out there.
Yeah.
You know? And then the whole thing with, I have this love-hate relationship with Hasbro. Like I love that they have some of the properties that I like, and they've made products for, and they're available. But then some of the decisions that they make with their offerings for these products is what frustrates and confounds me. I can't back them 100% like I used to. Like I used to be deep in Marvel Legends. Like New Wave came out, oh, I had to get it. It's got a cool Build-A-Figure. Oh, I've got to get that. I've got to get them all. Like, and I'm dropping money in the store. They got the whole wave. It's in the cart. I'm going to check out. It's coming home. You know.
Right.
And little by little, that kind of I've shied from doing that. You know.
Right.
And then another part of that too is I don't have that what people, you know, FOMO, the fear of missing out anymore because of, let me reach back here, because of my buddy that runs Omega Level Toys and Comics here in my hometown. Right. So Travis, you damn enabler, you. Well, he'll get something in his shop, and I'm like, I don't need that. And then he gets it, and I'm like, I need that.
Well, you're definitely in trouble because I hear he's going to be a retailer for
yeah, he is. He's not going to get everything. Like he's not going to get that first wave of Cosmic, and I'm kind of bummed about that because that would be like my plan. ABCD at this point. He's not getting that wave though. But yeah, I've been trying for a while to not only convince him to become a retailer, but to get that ball in motion, because like trying to get the horseman's attention sometimes can be very difficult, just because they're so busy and they have so much that they're doing, that a lot of times, the little guy gets unnoticed for a while. And I say that lovingly, because they, back in the message board days on their website, I had taken a picture of one of the swords from Mythic Legions and put their horse skull symbol over it to make the guard. And for a long time, they did not see it. So yeah, there it is right there. Sword Horseman is what it ended up being called. And it was in my signature. So every single post that I made on the message board, it was there. And I know people got so sick of seeing it. It was there since the first Mythic Legions Kickstarter. And it wasn't until the second Mythic Legions Kickstarter that sword got made. And it took some doing to get that image in front of their faces.
Mm-hmm.
And it took Israel Ramirez, who's also a member of the Mythic Legions community. He went to one of I think it was a G-Con that they hold every year now. He went there in person, and he had, our messages back and forth, and that picture was in it. He's like, look, this man has been trying to get you to see this. And he said that Eric Shredaway, when he looked at it, he said, why didn't we think of this? And I've sent a couple of other ideas to some of the team members there for some other ideas that I've had. So we'll see if those get made in a similar fashion.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the whole the thing with Omega Level Comics being a
retailer,
an official retailer. Yeah, that's really exciting, because we were finally able to get somebody's attention. Jeremy Gerard.
Yeah, because I sent them an email a while back to their email address, and I don't know, basically just saying, hey, is there something we can do? I know they have their official people that they run things through, but I was just asking, hey, is there something we can do? But
right,
haven't heard back.
So
yet.
I'm really excited about that, because that'll mean that I don't have to I won't have to go to somewhere like Big Bad Toy Store like somebody else would have to,
right?
Just because they don't have somebody local that is a retailer. So that's really cool, and I'm hoping to really introduce more fans to that line, because unless you have one in hand, you can look at all of the pictures that you want. You can look at all of the posts that everybody makes.
Yep.
All the customs people do with them, and be intimidated by them if that's the type of person that you are, or get really excited by looking at them, until you have a figure in hand out of box and you play around with it. You're not going to get it.
Yeah.
You're not going to understand what makes those figures so special.
Yeah.
And then once you do get one in hand, you're going to find at least one somewhere that you like enough that you're going to buy it.
Right.
Once you get it, you're going to go, okay, this other one's kind of cool. Let me get that one. And then if you start pulling these things apart, like literally I'm going to do it right here. This figure, let me take the custom parts off of him. Let me get this sword out of his hand. Like, okay, he doesn't have his head on, so I've already popped the head off. Look at the size of that ball joint. I mean, that's not a little Hasbro ball joint. That is a big head joint. And here's the head. This is a character called Dubon. Just came out, All Stars 5. The All Stars, they release re-release popular figures, and then they've been sprinkling in new characters. I mean, you saw I just popped his head back on.
Yeah.
And it's on. It is on. That is on. Now the head came off, but the neck also came with it. No problem. Look at the size of that hole that peg goes in.
Yeah.
The middle one. Not just ignore this thing in the back here for a second. But no big deal. Even if that neck piece came out with that head. It pops right out. This one's a little difficult to do because he's got that hood. But see, it came out. There's his head. I'm holding his neck.
Mm-hmm.
The arms. The arms pop out. Look at the size of those pegs. And they're totally interchangeable. Like, okay, I'm going to grab my custom again, the knight. So let me take his pauldron off. I'm going to pull the same arm out. I know, it's a custom. It's no big deal. My customs can take it. They can survive being moved, part swapped, whatever. That went on this other figure like nothing. And it moves.
Yep.
It's on there. It's not like these other figures from these other companies where you have to heat up every single piece. Now there are some pieces on this where you would have to heat them up. Like if you want to switch the feet, the way the feet work is they're pegged in, just like everything else on this figure. They're pegged in. You've got this big peg here for the ankle, but then you've got the actual articulation point inside that ankle. Now you would have to heat this foot up in order to pull that piece out if you wanted to, which is doable. They make hands and feet packs. The feet don't always come with that ankle joint, but if, say, you're not big into painting, okay, the discs on these pieces are generally casted in the same color as, the rest of the parts that go for these figures. You don't paint, no big deal. You match up the colors the best that you can, and you can make your own characters. Once people get that notion, you can make your own characters. Say you know people that play D&D, and they want to make their character. They can find enough parts in this line to get close. It's not impossible to do. And these things, they pop apart so easy. I'm going to tear them in half. Look, now he's in half. You can swap the whole upper body. This comes off. They have little, like the loin guard pieces. There's several different ones. The legs pop out. They're totally modular. So once you get one or two in hand that you've liked and you want to keep them the way that they are, and then you start looking at the other figures in the line, and you're like, oh my God, I could totally make my own characters. I could do that. Anybody could do this. And that's just part swapping. That's not even getting into the painting and everything.
Yep.
And then once you get into that, to where you start making your own characters, that's where places that make third-party pieces come into, like this. And that just, you pop the head off. I've got a little bit of poster tack inside here because these are made out of resin. So, they don't give like plastic most of the time. But you put a little bit of that on it, and now he's got a wolf helmet. Totally different character now than what he was before.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. Anybody can do it. Anybody. It doesn't have to have a property. It's ambiguous, and you make up your own stories if you want. Each character has their own little bio story, and all of the bios are interweaved for all of the characters. But you don't have to follow that. There's no rule that says you do.
Right.
You don't like this guy's backstory, you don't like who the character is that they created, and that's who he's supposed to be, then change it. You make this guy who you want him to be. It's not set in stone like a stormtrooper has to be a stormtrooper because he's a stormtrooper. Everybody knows what a stormtrooper looks like.
Right.
This doesn't have to be a stormtrooper. He's whoever you want him to be. That's what makes this line so great. And this is just the Mythic Legions part of it. The cosmic, you like space stuff, you like Star Wars, the cosmic stuff is even more open, even more endless. Because it can go anywhere. They can do anything with that line. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta put this stuff back together now. Sorry, I kind of got into it.
You're in the zone. But I agree that my first was what was my first? Oh,
Kauros. Mythic Legions?
Yeah, my
really?
first
Kauros was your first
Kauros.
Mythic Legions?
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. And once I got it, I was just like, oh man, I have to get Purplore. So I got Purplore and Chronaw.
And then here I come like, hey, I make custom parts for those characters.
Well, yeah, you I bought your the mask and the feet from you when you were working with that company. But anyway, I bought those through them and popped them on, and I'm like, these are great. They just, oh. And then you were like, yeah, I make parts and stuff. Got in deep on that. I still have a couple. Well, I still have a ton of stuff that I have to paint. A backlog of stuff.
So I've been in since the beginning, since before the beginning of Mythic Legions, but starting with Mythic Legions, my first one that really got me excited about the line was it was Atlas. I think it was Atlas. Atlas the Conqueror. That's the barbarian one, I believe. Always get him and Attila mixed in my head, and then it gets straightened out. It's like it's Atlas. I remember seeing the prototype for that one, going, "That's a cool figure." Because at the time, I was used to their Seventh Kingdom, and they always had shown a barbarian type character. The art, it was always in the running for the vote, never won.
Oh.
So I was like, that's really cool. I could take that figure and make that guy that they've been showing that they never did make. Little did I know that wasn't going to happen. But that's the one that first caught my eyes. Like, okay, that's cool. I've got to have that. And then I remember during that Kickstarter, when it first started, it was so slow, so excruciating to watch that number just inch up. It's like first experience dealing with Kickstarter was really they did the Gothtropolis birds, which that was the only way those were ever going to get released because they couldn't fund them themselves at the time. So that was their first kind of them dipping their toe into Kickstarter. So I was kind of familiar with how Kickstarter worked. And it was so excruciating that slow progress in the beginning. And I remember there was like a comic gaming toy store here at the time. And I remember taking pictures. I had printed out colored pictures of these things. And I remember going in. I didn't know these people. I didn't know who I was. I'd only been in a couple of times and never really bought anything. So I'm in there pitching this Kickstarter for this line that's never existed before, this fantasy line. Right. And I'm telling them, yeah, you got tabletop gaming in here. How many people come in and play Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering? Or, I was trying to make any connection that I could with these people, and they just weren't having it.
Right.
They're like,
I did the same thing at my shop, too. I'm just like, oh, yeah. I paint these. You can do this stuff, and you can do this and this and this. And they're just like, yeah, okay. It's just like, we'll stick to selling cards, but it's like, you have all these other things.
I knew it was going to be big, though. I knew. But it gave me so much anxiety just watching that slow crawl to get funded. And I'm going, this isn't going to happen. They're not going to get to make these figures. As awesome as they look, it's not going to get funded. So I start looking for compatible action figures where I can make an Atlas. Because I'm convinced at this point that they're not going to get to make these figures. So I said, I'm making this guy. If I got to sculpt that head myself, I'm going to have this figure. And then I'm going to post it. And then everybody's going to go nuts. Because they're like, hey, that didn't get made. How did you get that? But luckily, everybody kept, pledging and funding, and it just took off from there. And I've got nothing but happiness for the Horseman team, all of them that's worked on it. It's been a wild ride so far. and it's not over by a long shot.
Yeah.
There's so many things they're doing right now that it's insane to think about. Like they're actually making that full skeleton horse.
Oh my gosh. Right? That thing is insane.
I still can't believe that's getting made. I
wish I had bought it.
I know a guy, you know. I know a few guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to hit him up. But
that glare. Yeah, I was convinced that they were gonna have to just do like a further like rotted horse. But no, they went full on skeleton, and I love it.
Yeah.
And then Will White comes out, or I guess I don't know, Billy Beige. I don't know what he prefers to go by. Billy Beige comes out with this Chop Shop MS Paint job of one of the other figures, the tuberculi, on the upper half of that body, on the body of that horse to make a skeleton centaur, and everybody went nuts.
Yeah,
and then Joe Vespolo at the studio said, "I'm going to see if that works." He totally did. He put the prototypes together. I was going, "Oh my God, you guys! I didn't order enough of these things." Got me again.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, so Atlas was probably the first one that I opened. It was either that or it was one of the skeletons. I really don't remember the Skeleton Legion builder. It was one of the two. It was probably Atlas because I was the most excited for him at the time. So, okay, since we're talking about Legions still, I know Bo and Zach are probably going to watch this and go, "Oh my God, they're talking about this crap still." If you had to pick, and this is the worst question ever, if you had to pick one, what's your favorite? You got to pick one, just one. What's your favorite? Even if it's one that you don't have, what's your favorite?
I would probably pick Kauros.
Really?
He was my first one, and I just remember when I got him, the look of joy on my daughter's face as she held him and was just like, "This is so cool." And that is just a memory I treasure so much that I don't think I would have to get him, but I would have to pick that one. But logically, for like I would probably pick the Barbarian builder because it shows a good round range of parts, you know.
Okay, so it's not just one.
I think that one's really good.
See, nobody can answer that question with just one. It's always, but also like this one, and then it just, I like all of them.
I did. I do, but I if I had, you know, someone had a gun to my head and said you can only pick one, that's the one I would pick.
So okay, so we'll say Kauros. So
yeah,
but back to the Barbarian Builder set. That set, just that set existing is just, it's another story in of itself. That was not a FanX vote thing, but the fans were like, we want something like this. They at that time on the message boards, people were going crazy photoshopping stuff together, and you know, that one of the things was everybody was trying to make like a War Duke type character. So that kind of gave birth to that set, that Barbarian set. That Barbarian set, I have a set that I haven't done anything with, and that is the one, because I hear everybody say this, that is the one where if I'm trying to introduce somebody to Mythic Legions and what you can do with them, because that set has so much with it, that's the one that I'm keeping untouched, that I will hand somebody to mess around with and say, this is what this line is like.
Yep.
And it totally works because it's got, a few different heads and the helmet attachments, and you can change some of his armor around. It gives you that idea of, hey, I really can do this. This is kind of cool. And then these figures, they're not light by any means. They've got a good weight to them, just the standard figures. But then you get something like you can barely catch him off the corner here. This guy back here, he looks big, and he's got a little bit of weight to him, but he's hollow. And that's a whole other scale. I mean, those things are, they're big. I mean, they're trolls. They're supposed to be, in that story, they're supposed to be big. But then you get like this guy, and this guy's got custom parts on him. So let me back up. Let me do this. Is size comparison. I mean, he's another half a figure bigger than the standard size figure, and he's heavy. He's got some weight to him. So, I mean, somebody that's not familiar with this stuff, they look at it and go, it's cool, it's fantasy, but I don't know anything about it. You don't have to know anything about it. Trust me, they're cool. Unless you're one of those hyper articulation junkies where you believe everything has to move like Spider-Man, okay, you might not like these figures. Yeah. But they don't have to have double knees and double elbows. Get any Hulk figure. Marvel's Hulk. He doesn't have double elbows and double knees. They've tried that. It didn't really work, but some of the current ones that are out, they don't have those double elbows and knees and that, because he's a bigger dude, Right. So put yourself in that mind frame. Okay, so why don't the knights have that type of articulation? Because they're in armor. They're not. If you live in a cold climate and you've got a thick, heavy coat, you try to bend your arm and try to touch your shoulder like that. Right. That ain't happening, and that's a soft coat. These are suits of armor. They're in armor from a camera. So, they're not as articulated as, SH figure art figure or, or like the Dragon Ball Z characters that you're collecting. But they don't have to be. And that's okay. The quality is there, especially for the price point. I mean, it's not going to be too much longer where Hasbro is going to be the same price as these figures are. But if you take a standard release Marvel Legends now that doesn't come with a bunch of accessories, doesn't come with a bunch of hands, some of them don't even come with Build-A-Figure parts now.
Yeah, they don't.
You're paying something like, you'll pay $37 or more, depending on where you order it from. But then you get one of these in hand. And tell me where the quality is. Right. Tell me that you still prefer that figure in hand compared to any one of these Mythic Legions figures. Yep. Tell me. Contact me. I'm serious. Message me. Eric Borries, EricBorries, on Facebook Messenger. Message me. I'll talk with you. I'll have a conversation with you. I will convince you one way or the other.
Well, you could start with oh my gosh. You could start with Zach. He ended up canceling a bunch of his orders. He still kept the Cosmic Legions.
Has he had one in hand though?
I think so. I think he picked up the Barbarian Legion builder. He has one of them. I'm not sure which one, but
so not sure which one. So maybe not the builder pack, but maybe like the Legion builder one. And he's got different arms on, so that's not exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some people aren't into that, swords and sorcery fantasy, and I get that.
Yeah,
I get that, But I mean, my message to him, Zach, give Cosmic a try if you're into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he still has his Cosmic order in place, so He's looking forward to that.
If you're going to cancel them, cancel all but one of them, get one of them in your hand, keep your favorite one, and then make your decision.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, at least he had a mythic in hand, and while it might have not have been the best example, at least he had one in hand. He gave it a shot. He said, okay, yeah, these might not be for me.
Yeah.
We'll see what he says in a couple of years. There are cooler figures out there in the line than the barbarians too. You've got all these evil characters. I mean, who doesn't love a good villain, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at this guy. Come on.
Yeah.
This is Aerith here. And he doesn't have all of his parts on, but I mean, come on. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Look at
so
that
freaking
head.
Cool.
I mean, that's nuts. That's so freaking cool.
That was actually the first time I went all in on an order from them.
And then his shoulder pieces are just, where the hell is my camera? I mean, the size of this thing.
Yeah.
They're massive. And then you put them on him, forget it. If there was ever a more metal figure, I don't know what is. I mean,
I hear you.
That is badass, and I don't care who you are or what you say.
Oh, goodness.
Get out of here.
Yep. There's a lot of good villains, and I mean, and even like their goblins are a favorite of mine. I really like King Noglin and Snag. Those are two of my favorites.
Oh, my favorite goblin is Nubnik.
Yeah.
He's just got that classic, like, almost Jim Henson style look to him. He's my favorite goblin.
Yeah, I mean, I would say all the goblins have grown on me. Like, I didn't like, what was it, Thump? The dude with the big hammer?
Yeah, Thump.
I wasn't that keen on him, but once I got him in hand, it's just like posing him with his, arm curled over his hammer, and it's just like, okay, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. Thump's a good one. He's really cool. He always seemed like he should have been on the bigger body to me, so I went and did it.
Nice.
So, some other custom parts there that shield.
Yeah.
But other than that, I put him on that bigger. This is a dwarf-sized body.
Yeah.
But still, I always thought, I mean, just the way he looked like he should have been a bigger goblin,
Yeah, I was surprised that it came the way it was. How he was on the smaller body.
They put those big shoulders on him, and that made him look bigger. But then he's got like the little chicken legs. He skipped leg day.
Yeah.
Every day was shoulder day.
Oh goodness.
Oh, goblins.
They're awesome.
I mean, there's barbarians, there's vampires, there's knights, there's goblins, orcs, dwarves, animal people, there's ogre scale creatures, trolls, skeletons. There's so much, and there's still a lot more to come. If fantasy, that type of fantasy thing is your thing, why are you not a Mythic Legions fan?
Yeah, I don't know why. They should be.
I can't help it. I'm more excited for this stuff than I am the mainstream stuff, like the Star Wars and the Marvel stuff. I mean, I've got Marvel stuff up on the shelf. I mean, here's Spider-Man stuff right here above my shoulder.
Yeah, but Spider-Man's your dude.
Nothing wrong with Spider-Man. He's like he's my Marvel hero. I you know, but then you get these cool little things like these independent guys that do the Plunderlings, which are really awesome. I love these guys. They're so cool. What's not to love about the independent stuff? Yes. See, that's I can't I don't want to say brand loyal because I guess I'm a little brand loyal towards the Horsemen. But I mean, I still collect other stuff too, you know? Like I said, I was in the store. I had 2 Star Wars figures in my hands. And had I been in a little bit of a better financial situation right now, I would have went home with them. Yeah. And I'll still get those figures, but later.
Yeah.
I can't say enough good stuff about the Mythic Legions thing, so I'm going to shut up about it now because I'm sure everybody's going to be going, oh, this is all they're going to talk about. I'm not going to watch this.
Well, I'll say this.
Put him back up there.
I still like my dude you made for me.
Yeah.
I love that. But anyway, yeah. Kali, this guy.
I can't wait to get some of those figures.
And this guy. And Pale.
And this guy lives in my neck of the woods. Jason
Bienvenue.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't from here. I need to reach out to him again.
These are really cool, and these are ones that I think are like a good compromise, like for people that Zach prefers, like
okay,
one double jointed elbows and stuff like that.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but yeah, that's totally valid. Yeah.
These are cool.
I was going to say those designs, those characters, they remind me a lot of the little battle beasts from my childhood. The little rubber, like 1 inch, inch and a half, whatever guys that were all animals. Yes. I've got mine somewhere. I don't know if I can dig them out.
They just so happen to be right in my desk.
Yes, that's what that line reminds me of. And he like the first ones he did, they were all apes, right? They were all
there was some apes and a couple cats.
Okay, so he did do a couple of cats, yeah.
This is technically a cat.
So I saw. Oh yeah, right. I forget about that one, and I see him everywhere. He's a popular one, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know he's doing a rabbit. He's shown a rabbit before. Yeah. He's shown some other cats. I want to say there was one looked like a hyena, which I thought was really cool looking.
Yeah, I remember that one.
But I've seen some of the artwork that he has kind of promoted in the past, and he's got plans for other animals. Like one of them that looked really cool was he did a turtle. There was like some art of a turtle. I'm like, that's cool. I can't wait for that one to come out.
That'd be cool. I don't think I've seen that
one. Yeah, I really want to get my hands on some of those. So hopefully soon. And I might drop him a message and say, hey, I want this. Take my money.
I want a rabbit.
Yeah. Well, see, he's shown a prototype of a rabbit.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I want a rabbit, but I want one that looks like this, sort of.
The female apes, those look really good.
They do.
I like the design that he did with those. Those are really cool looking. I want to get those for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they look really good.
Really cool.
Dude, his that big one, Thane.
Yes.
With the big shoulder pad, that one looks insane. I can't wait to get him. But I think that's gonna be a good one. But
I've always liked the animal the anthropomorphic type of stuff. I've always been a fan of that, and that goes back to when I was a
Battle
kid,
Beasts.
like Ninja Turtles and Battle Beasts, and I used to play with those Battle Beasts. God, so much. I'm surprised any of mine survived.
Yep, mine are missing a few stickers, and some of them don't have arms like this one.
You're gonna make me dig these things out,
but
luckily, I think they're right here.
No kidding.
Ooh. So, let me grab this. Yep. This is what mine are in. It's there we go. It's like a little garbage pail thing. But that's what I kept them in. Like, this dude was always my favorite one.
Yeah.
Like the rhino. And of course, mine's all missing the stickers. This one was another one of my favorites. And that's not his proper weapon. Right. I think actually that's the rhinos. That one came with my rhino. His was more of like a, it was like a staff, and it had two little miniature mace heads on the end of it.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I remember that is I was playing with these from the second story window of my bedroom, and the window was open. And I remember they were doing roofing work at the apartments that we lived in. And I remember that because nails were all over the ground. And I dropped his weapon from the second story. And it went down on the ground. So there's all of these nails everywhere on the ground. I ran downstairs so fast and ran outside to the back. And I found it. I actually found it. And then somewhere along the way, he came up missing again. I think what actually happened is I had a friend that might have taken it. But I remember that I didn't think I was going to find it. I remember I was tearing up. I was upset, and I'm looking, and I remember I picked up one of the nails, and I was so mad. And then I looked, and it was his weapon. I'm like, I found it. A random grab.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites, and this is his actual weapon. It's a boomerang.
It's a kangaroo. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the sticker still works, I think. It used to. Yeah.
So these were my original 4 that I had.
Oh, yeah, you have that guy too. I have that guy too. But this one's missing his foot.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
So I remember
random battle beasts talk for you.
So the bird, I remember mine came, and this was his weapon. Where am I? This was his weapon, and this was how it was packaged. It's glued here in the middle because it snapped, I'm sure. It was packaged like this together. So for a long time, I had him like it was some kind of weird spear thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize until later. It's a freaking battle axe. And for years I played with it like the wrong way. And then I looked at it one day, I'm going, that's an axe.
And of course, my mom comments, I'm surprised she's still watching. My purse was always full of battle beasts and micro machines everywhere we went. And that's funny because this was my Ferrari car case that has all my micro machines in it. Let's see. This is what she always carried around. Yep. And also had these things, I think we ended up looking up the name for them, but they were called, I forget what they were called, but we ended up looking them up and we found them. But yeah, here's the bulldog I got.
Oh yeah.
And I think this was one of my favorites. Just like, it just reminds me of Cthulhu.
Man, there's so many I never even knew existed. I didn't have very many either. I only had a handful. Like those 4 main ones were the only ones I had for a long time. And then I think one of the next ones I got was this little crab dude.
Oh, nice.
Like he was one, and then this gorilla.
Yeah.
He still has his sticker. I just realized he still got his original sticker. Huh. Got a porcupine.
Cool.
And then this kid gave me this one, but it wasn't until after he cut the frill off of it. But it was that lizard with the frill around his head.
Oh.
So I was like, oh man, that kind of sucks. But okay, I'll still take him. And that's all I've got.
Yeah. I occasionally try to keep an eye out for them, like at secondhand stores and stuff. But there's this ram who's missing an arm.
But yeah, that's what these animal warriors of the kingdom remind me of, are like updated battle beasts.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Which is cool. I mean, that's not the story he's going with, but still, that's what they remind me of. You know, it's in
there's
my head,
like there was a mainstream movie that I saw the trailer with my parents, and we looked at each other and we're like, oh my gosh, that's like our battle beasts. And I don't remember what the movie was called. It was like Beast Wars or Battle Wars or Battle Monsters or something weird, but yeah, it totally does. So the first time I got Pale, I immediately started like getting him hunched down and crouched down to try to see like just how well he could move and pose, and he poses really well. And I managed to get a couple cool shots of him like in a really low crouching stance or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. They're cool.
I vaguely remember some kind of movie, and they were like kangaroo characters.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
What is the name of that?
IMDb. Kangaroo movie.
Warriors of Virtue.
Yes, that's the one. That's it.
That's it. That is hilarious that we're both like, yeah, it's like right there. What is that? I knew it was Warriors something, and as soon as you started saying anything about it, I'm like, I know what he's talking about.
Warriors of Virtue.
I've seen that movie once. That's crazy.
That's so cool. I don't even remember what the movie was about, but it felt very much like they're elemental. Each one commands a certain element, that's what these battle beasts were. Like some of them were like wood and fire and different things like that.
I think it was three. Water. It was wood, fire, and water, and it was very much a rock paper scissors type of game format.
Exactly.
To play with. And I remember having so many discussions with some of my friends that even knew about them, because we would talk about which characters we had, and like I know that like fish looking one had a water symbol.
Yeah.
And another friend of mine was like, no, mine was totally, it had a wood symbol on it. I'm like, it's a fish. What are you talking about?
Well, see,
so I don't know if they were just placed at random or if they had a plan. I don't know.
I think they were.
I remember the commercial. Do you?
No.
It was animated. Yeah, you should look it up. I bet it's on YouTube somewhere. It's that old like 80s animation that you would see on like, the Thundercats opening or, all the Ninja Turtle opening. It's really well done for its time. I mean,
right.
There was some of the characters. It was little, not toys, but it was animated. It was all animated. And it was, one of them was, declaring he was, how did it go? Something about, wood beats water and fire beats wood, but water beats fire or something, it's something to that extent to it. I remember that commercial.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. Okay. So let me go here. I will present, share screen, share, Battle Beast, share. Okay. So here it is. We'll do this great quality. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Battle Beast wood, fire, fire burns wood. Battle Beast fire, water, water puts out fire. Battle Beast water, wood beats water. Battle Beast, battle for the fun of it. Just activate their battle badges.
I got fire, I got water, water beats fire.
Battle Beast,
wood, fire, fire beats wood.
Battle Beast. Grow into an army. Collect all 84. Battle Beast.
That's it. I totally remember that. But you see what I mean about the animation? It looked like, the animation of that time back then.
Yep.
I loved that commercial. I always wanted more of those, and I never really even saw them.
They're hard to find. Yeah, they're hard to find.
I remember getting some, I think, from a Kmart.
Uh-huh.
And then there was like a little toy store in one of the malls. And then after that, they were just like gone. Like I never saw them again.
This one is the only one that I ever got that I opened. This kangaroo guy. This is the only one that I ever opened. I actually got to open the pack with him. And this one is wood, I believe. Yeah. He's wood. But I'm pretty sure that they were like random.
And they're Hasbro.
Are they?
Damn it, Hasbro. The back of one of mine says East.
Mine has Hasbro 1987, but it's also Takara Tomei toys. The same people who make those spinner things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, mine's got, I think, 86. I remember this one and this one were packed together.
Yeah.
I remember they were carded. I opened them. And then these two were packed together. They were carded together. And those were the ones that I found at a Kmart. Now, they're stamped. They say 86. So that's me remembering something from, when in 86 I was 6 years old. So I either found them in 86 or 87. So I was 6 or 7, and I remember that.
Yeah.
But now you asked me something that happened last week and forget it. I can't tell you. But back when I was 6 or 7, I remember I found some Battle Beasts in the Kmart in Goshen, Mississippi.
Isn't
Off of Highway 90. It was
like
a sunny day.
Remember the day.
No, I don't. It could have been raining. I don't know. I don't remember that.
Oh goodness. Yeah,
but I remember
good memories.
Yeah, that's the stuff you want to hold on to.
Yep. See, I don't remember who came with the kangaroo. I don't know who was packaged with them.
I want to say they had single carded. They had them single, they had them double packed, and then they had like the 4-pack. And I believe that's what I got 2 packs because I remember the rhino and the fish guy being together. And I remember because I saw the commercial, I saw the fish guy on there. I wanted him.
Right.
And I was like, well, I don't care about the rhino, but the rhino became one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And then the same with the bird and the mountain lion. I was more into the bird, again, because of the commercial. But then the cat became a favorite too. So it's funny how that worked out, but it was probably just because those were the only ones I had for the longest time.
Right. Yeah. I think what my parents did is they knew I liked them, so they picked them up whenever at like secondhand stores. But the kangaroo was the only one that I actually remember opening, and that's why he's like in pristine condition.
I don't think I've ever even really seen that one until now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely my favorite. Yeah. What was the commercial? It said collect all 84 of them. So there's quite a few.
And there's people that are diehard for those things.
I'm friends with a couple on Instagram.
They've gone back and collected a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you sent me one of those for my birthday a few years ago. It was the ape.
Yeah,
that's the one where it had the thing that pops out of his chest. It's like
those are
a newer version. They're kind of like Battle Beast, but they're not Battle Beast.
That's Beast Saga.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that game is a lot more complicated, and it's obviously not rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's not wood beats water.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. I was collecting those with my kid, and I got as many as I could find, but they never came to the U.S. And it was such a bummer. I was buying them like it was coming from overseas and stuff. And that's the only time they were released. And like there were no instructions. It was all in Japanese or Chinese or whatever it was. I had to go online and look up the instructions and for translated and then do a translate. Well, I wanted to know what they were for because it was interesting and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. My kids still ask me like, "Hey, can we play that game?" She's like, "Yeah, can we play that game? You remember when we played that game?" And I'm like, "Oh, you mean Beast Saga?" She's like, "Well, those things." And I'm like, "Yeah, those are Beast Saga."
Oh boy.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I need to get those down and play with them again with her. She was wanting that the other day. They're a fun game, but soon I'm gonna have to teach her how to play Magic: The Gathering, and
oh boy,
yeah.
Let me.
I feel like that's.
I don't think you could teach me, and I'm a grown ass man.
I've taught quite a few people, but yeah, I don't know.
I've gotten into a card game before, and it didn't. I got to a point where, like, yeah, I got to stop this.
Yeah, wasn't it Yu-Gi-Oh?
It was Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I ended up getting into it was because I was living in Biloxi, Mississippi at the time, and I knew a guy that was involved in one of the local specialty shops there, and he wanted to get into the gaming stuff, offering a place for people to come and play games.
Yeah.
And at the time, Yu-Gi-Oh had just came out. It was new. It was something that they had got in. They got some starter decks, and nobody was buying it.
Mm.
And it just was not their crowd.
Right.
The crowd that was aimed at was really more for kids because it had a cartoon and everything.
Right.
And kids were not the ones coming into this particular shop. I mean, this was like, it was a comic shop, and they had import figures, which fed my addiction to the Dragon Ball Z figures.
Right.
But they had other stuff. It just wasn't, and they were kind of, they were just outside of a military base over there in Biloxi. So it wasn't like they were in a mall. It was a little strip mall, but the only other thing there was a video store and a couple of food places. So, I mean, unless you knew they were there, like you were an established patron, it didn't get a lot of children foot traffic. So he said, "Hey, learn this game with me. I'll get you this, one of the starter decks and a couple of packs of these cards, and we'll, come over and we'll figure out how to play this game." And it just kind of started from there. And he ended up having the I don't want to say the villain deck, but it was the deck that had the dragons in it, and I had the deck that Yugi
Blue Eyes
had.
White Dragon.
Yeah, and he mopped the floor with me. Like, I just couldn't get a grasp on exactly how to do it. So I would buy I kept buying the packs of cards. Like, I'd go to Walmart or whatever, and if the new cards came out, I would buy those and figure out how to use those. And then the mall in that area, like, people think mall today, and it's like these malls, these giant parking lots, and all the stores are outside. No, this was the indoor type mall.
Yeah.
So there was a gaming shop that opened up, and they sold, sporting cards and, Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. And they had tournaments for each of those every so often. So I said, let me see how good I actually am, because I've only been playing against Brad, and I can't beat him, save my life. And it turns out I was pretty good. So I kept doing it, and I ended up investing in it kind of heavily. I went online and found this foam mat that had the different spaces on it where you could, where you were supposed to put the cards.
Yeah.
And everybody else is just playing on the tabletop. There's no mat or nothing. Some of the decks would come with the paper version of the foam one that I had, but it was just a single side. And then people saw me and I'm rolling this thing out, and they're like, "I want to play that guy." So I ended up playing this one guy one time. It was back and forth the whole match. I would do something and I would be ahead, and then his turn, he would do something and he would be ahead. And then it would come back to me and I would do something and I'd be ahead. And he's over there going, "Man, I can't believe you just did that." We're similar in age, and it just kept going. And I beat him, and he was like, "That was a great match. Oh my God, I've never had a match like that before." And I'm going, "Yeah, it was kind of good. It wasn't the typical, here comes this kid and he does a few things and then I wipe the floor with him and it's over." It was a little back and forth. And I didn't mean to do that. I'm not saying like, "Oh, I beat up on these little kids in this card game. It was great." No, I mean, I would take it upon myself. Like, I would notice they would do something that wasn't exactly, a legal move. And I would tell them, "Hold on, stop. We're in the middle of the match." I'd go, "You're not really supposed to do that. Do this instead." So I'm actually physically coaching these kids on how to play this game in the middle of these tournaments. But the guy that we had the really good match with, we became friends and everything, and it was his mission from that point on to make all these different types of decks to crush me. And it worked. He got his revenge, multiple times over. So then I started making, a few new decks, and one of them was, I don't even know if it was legal. It was just something we did in practice. There were certain cards that would cancel out monster effects, but it wasn't specific to whether it was just your opponent's monsters or if it affected all the monsters on the field. So we took it to mean because it didn't specify all of the monsters on the field. So there were some monsters that you couldn't play unless certain circumstances were met. Well, that was that creature's effect, so it could get ignored. So he didn't think about that. And it was another one where I decimated him in that one, and he was like, yeah, I don't know if that's actually legal. But he had made a deck, and he called it his Pegasus deck, because in that show there's a character named Pegasus, and he has a special Millennium item that's an eye that allows him to basically see the future, so he can basically see what cards you're going to play. And it's to the effect of he can literally, in a real world situation, you would be forced to show him the cards that you're holding in your hand.
Right.
So he actually found the cards to make a deck like that. And not only that, but to see like the first few cards on the top of your deck. Mm-hmm. And he could arrange them in any way he wanted. Okay. Even in your hand. He could change the position of the cards in your hand. And he had cards that their effect was he could pick a card to destroy in your hand. Like you have to get rid of it. Yeah. So he was using that to his advantage. And I'm holding these cards, and I'm going, how am I going to stop him from doing this to me? Because this sucks. So in that game, you can put so many cards down on the field face down.
Right.
Magic and trap cards and that sort of thing. And so that's what I did. I cleared my hand. So I didn't have a hand. So he couldn't see what was in my hand because I didn't have a hand. And he started cussing. He's like, I knew you would find the weakness to this somehow. But it was a fun time, but it was costly. Those cards cost some money.
Yeah.
I mean, I was spending more money than I should have on cards at the time. All this was before 2005. 2005 changed everything. That's when Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast, and like everybody's way of life down here suddenly just came to a screeching halt. Mm-hmm. And in some instances, just downright changed, did like a 180, like things that you used to do, that you used to like doing, and places you used to like going, they didn't exist anymore.
Jeez.
So all that kind of put things a little bit into perspective for me. Like, okay, yeah, I was spending too much time on that and too much money into this, and I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. So all of the card game playing kind of ended for me.
Yeah.
Right then and there. Now, I still have my cards. I still have my stuff, but I did look into it, like, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, and like my main deck that I put together is illegal as hell. You can't use any of those cards anymore.
Right.
They've deemed it too powerful.
Or, they get phased out because of the power creep that was happening a lot back then.
Yeah. Well, I did stack my cards with some pretty heavy hitting creatures. Like there was this one time, and I was only able to do it once. There's a thing where each monster has a particular power level, how strong they are, but they also have stars on the cards, and those stars indicate whether you can normally summon that monster or if you have to sacrifice one or more monsters depending on its star level in order to play it on the field. one such creature is called Summon Skull. Go figure, I would remember that. But at the time, he was a pretty heavy hitter. You had to sacrifice one monster in order to play him. So this guy that I was playing against, he ended up using his favorite monsters to use with these dragons. It was like some type of dragon card, and it had like 3 cannons on it, and it had a special effect where it could target things on the field, target cards in your hand, and target your deck, and all this weird, crazy kind of stuff. I hated always playing against him because he could always mop the floor with me. The only time that I beat him was this, and I had this planned in my head to use if it ever came up, and it came up with him, and I'm like, crap. So I had particular cards that once activated, it would your opponent would have to pick up all of their magic and trap cards that they set on the field, so they would return to their hands. So I played that. There was a card that you could play to where it destroyed all of the monsters on your opponent's side of the field. Okay. So in a move like that, you've left your opponent wide open so that you could attack their life points directly. Right. I had a Summoned Skull on the field. I had a Summoned Skull in my hand, and I had a Monster Reborn in my hand. Now, there's also these cards that you can use to power up your creatures. They're like, basically think about it as like you're giving weapons to the creatures on the field, and it raises their attack points. So I sacrificed my Summoned Skull on the field to summon, or special summon, whatever it was, my Summoned Skull that I had in my hand, used Monster Reborn to bring back the one that I sacrificed, and at that point, his eyes got real big, like he had never thought to do something like that. And then I equipped both of them with a couple of Acts of Despairs that I had, which raised their attack level to 1,000 points each. And I just wailed on him, and I beat him that way. And he was like, "Man, I've never seen anybody do that." So that felt pretty good. So I've got good memories from that time in my life, but it's just I can't get into stuff like that because it costs too much money.
It does, and that's one thing that I'm like hesitant to get her excited about and into, but it's also I really like Magic's and I still play it, but it's like, do I risk her getting the bug and wanting to buy packs again or not?
Yeah,
because I mean I still have every card.
You got all these packs of cards. You got to have something to put them in. You got to have a deck box. You got to get the sleeves. You got to get the tokens. You got to. It's all this other stuff that goes along with it. Yeah. I have all that stuff already though. So yeah, but she's gonna want.
She's gonna want her own.
Yes.
And you know, half the time that's how you get people into it. It's just like, hey, check out this deck box. Oh, these sleeves. Look at that. It's just like, oh, those are awesome sleeves. I could use those for this deck. And just like, yes.
Or you see something like that, and it's like, ooh, I could make a deck to go in those.
Yep.
No.
And right now at my local gaming store, this
is my addiction right now. I can't go back to cards.
Right. They have a deal, buy one get one, and it's a buy one get one sale on their Dragon Shield sleeves, and those are like my favorite sleeves, and it's just like
just when you think you're out, they pull you back in.
Oh man, it's been so hard because the last few sets I've been extremely excited about, and it's like I want those cards, but it's like no, don't. It's like I just convinced myself not to buy them, and Yep. So yeah, like you said, I have a new addiction, and that's these guys.
Yeah.
That's
Stick with
what
that.
Because I mean, it's like $30, and that's pretty much all I have to spend, and any given month. So it's like I could spend it on this guy. This is the next one I'll get. Like the next one I'm looking to get is probably Piccolo, but that's where I was talking about. It looks like Future Trunks and Vegeta are coming up to pre-order, and it's like I really want those. So it's like I'm gonna have to, switch stuff around and focus on those and put Piccolo off until later. But
will probably be available later.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's from the superhero movie, and so it's not like it's going away anytime soon. Who knows?
Yeah, so it's not like the standard, like normal Piccolo.
Yeah. Well, no, that one I did get.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about just the standard basic Piccolo. And there's someone on Instagram that I saved it, but I forget who it is. They 3D print capes for him, so it's just like, okay, I can get this one and get the cape and hat from that guy, and it's just like, then you have a basic Piccolo. But then again, Zach brought up to me, he's just like, well, he never fights with his cape and hat on, though, and it's just like, yeah, that's true. But I just want him to have. I just want him to look all menacing.
Yeah.
He looks so menacing standing there.
That's one of the things, what you did just there. You did it without even really realizing it. Oh, tongue-tied again. This pose.
Yeah.
They should totally have just a set of arms you can pop on the figures where it's just like this.
They do.
It doesn't need articulation. They don't need to move. It's you just pop them in.
Yep.
It's like, why haven't they done this?
Well, they did. The Gohan,
yeah,
superhero Gohan, has arms that you can pop out, and they're crossed.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But it's like I just need that same thing for Piccolo, but I haven't found a third party that does those interchangeable arms yet. But I don't know. We'll see.
Somebody should.
Yeah. Because I worked like very hard to cross Vegeta's arms and have him standing cross-armed like that, and I managed to get a picture of it, but I don't have the hands necessary to do that pose right now. I have his final flash hands. But yep, that's my addiction right now, I think. But
I think we're coming up on 3 hours, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a marathon show.
Oh, goodness. Well, we got a lot to talk about, and we haven't talked in a while.
We got
so
a lot to talk about. Shoot, we'll just have to. We'll have to save it next week.
Yeah, and so I'll play this out and wrap things up here. But yeah, it's been fun.
So if y'all do a show, if y'all do a Saturday show, if it's during the day, I will probably. You see what he said. If y'all can do a show on Saturday during the day, I'll probably be able to join.
Shut up already, you fucking nerds.
Nerds! It's Thunder Nerds, dude.
Right. Oh, yeah. But what were you saying about Saturday?
Yeah, no. If y'all choose to do the show on Saturday during the day, I'll probably be able to join. If not, it's cool. I just can't do like the evenings on the weekend. And you know why. You know why. So, but if it's during the day, as long as nothing else is going on, like nothing crazy, I should be able to, at least hop on for a little while, if nothing else.
Huh. Yeah, you
all
should,
four of us here.
Yeah, you should send you should create a ranked list for the My Hero Academia talk we're gonna have this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Send me like what are the stipulations for that and like the requirements.
I personally, they had to be someone who's alive and not retired. That's the stipulations that I put in place before I went on the list. Before I gave him my list. So
so it's what, like our favorite characters or
yeah, your favorite characters, and then and Bo said it's not too late to send it in. So if you
me, I'm always a day late and $1 short.
if you do that and send it to Bo, and we'll probably be on at 1:00 on Saturday. And that's 1:00 Eastern time.
Okay, so that's an hour ahead of me.
Right. So it's probably 2 for you? Is that? I can't count. Yeah. Can't count anymore.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that's the top 10, like what's your top 10 favorite?
Yeah. I did 10
alive and not retired.
Yeah, I that's just what I personally did. I'm not sure what Bo or Zach did, but that's what those are the stipulations I put in place for mine.
Okay. So we talking every character in the show, or is it just villains or just heroes?
Heroes and villains. You could
so anybody in the show. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. Your top 10. I did 10 of each. And All Might is retired, so he would be on the list for sure, but he's retired, so put him aside. Lady Midnight characters is dead, so I was just like, okay, so
is she though? Is she dead?
Apparently she is.
I don't know.
It would be nice if she's still alive. Like they could use Erie to rewind her.
We'll have a question mark on that one for now.
Well, because I would have put her in my top 10 list, but I decided to say, "Yep, she's dead," and because that's how it is in the show. She's dead, so I won't put her on the list.
Okay, we'll say she's dead for now.
right.
For now.
Yep, I'm fingers crossed that she's still alive. So,
they showed her face down in the mud, but is she really dead?
Was she face down in the mud? I don't know. I thought she was. Oh no, that's Mountain Lady that I'm thinking of. She had all the arrows in her, and
she survived.
She's still alive. She was also enormous at the time, so
yeah,
those would be like flesh wounds to. But of course, Midoriya, he's done so much damage to his body. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But I don't know.
I'm not. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm not sure he's going to survive all of this.
I know it. I don't want to jinx it either. I'm hoping he does because, yeah.
I've seen plenty of animes where the hero, he's you like him, he's a great character, and then by the end of it, he's dead.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's like, why is he dead? Of course, they tried that with Goku. They're just like, we're going to kill him off. And it's just like, but he gets to come back for a day.
It's Dragon Ball. They're never really dead.
That's how I feel.
It is so funny when they introduce new characters and somebody dies and then somebody just goes, "Oh yeah, so what? We're gonna wish them back."
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's just like, okay, everyone that was dead a minute ago is now alive. It's just like, oh, what? Okay.
Yeah. All right.
We use the Dragon Balls to wish him back.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's close it out though.
Yeah, I'm gonna close it up here. Maybe. Yeah. All right. Well, It's been good talking to you. And
hey, thanks for those who did join us and stuck around.
They're still free watching.
Yeah. Well, one's probably still your mom.
Well, I don't know.
And Bo.
Yeah, and Bo probably. But yeah, we'll wrap it up.
He's probably muted us like 50 times.
Ow. I just bashed my knee on the desk. Ow. Yeah, we'll see you Saturday, and until then, here's a little song to play us out.